Good morning, folks. Everything new under the sun. Now, this is a fun video, or a fun article. I enjoy doing videos about archaeology, creation, proofs, providing information about the Bible, the fact that the Bible stories, as we call them, are actually history written down for us. And this is one of them. This is from nowtheendbegins.com, and I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's very interesting. Every day, archaeologists find something else that confirms a new story as retold in the Bible and confirms it as actual history. And this one is confirming the story of David and Goliath, and it has to do with the ancient Philistine city of Gath. So was Goliath a giant, or was he just some man with a growth hormone issue, and so he just grew extra big? Well, no, the Bible tells it that in fact he was a giant, and he had, I believe it's 4 other brothers, 5 in total. Maybe it's 5 other brothers. You'll have to correct me on that exactly. But of course, you know the story of David and Goliath. David was a boy, and he went up against the giant, the biggest and the best warrior of the Philistines, and defeated Goliath. And so here's the story here. Biblical archaeologists discover a massive, and that's interesting because remember, he was a giant, and there were other giants as well. He wasn't the only giant. Giant-sized fortification believed to be the ancient Philistine city of Gath, and home to Goliath. So if there were giants in this area, in this city, then you would expect the archaeologists to find maybe extra tall doorways and other things like that would be able to support and house giants. And I think it was more than just Goliath and his brothers that were giant there. And indeed, that's what this article seems to indicate. The monumental architecture is of much larger dimensions than almost anything found in the Levant. During this era, the unexpected layer opens up the possibility that the city was a regional stronghold by the 11th century, said Mayer, as opposed to previously assumed settlement of Ekron. As such, the find could cause a rethink of the matrix of who the strong powers were in the region at that time. And so they always look for archaeological evidence that would disprove the biblical stories and say, you know what, yeah, the Bible is just a bunch of stories, made-up stories of the past, or it wasn't giants in the past, etc. The world would like you to believe that. Evolutionists would like you to believe that there were no giants, but indeed this goes to confirm it. It says, in the Goliath layer, the blocks measure between 3.2 to 6.5 feet. And so these are blocks that, they would need supersized, super strong humans to be able to move. A Goliath of a man may have spread from an equally giant-sized city. Supersized remains of enormous architecture. Remember, look at the blocks at the bottom of the Wailing Wall. They are massive, and they have anybody has a hard time explaining how those were cut, first of all, and then set in place, second of all. Supersized remains of enormous architecture and fortifications from a new, unexpected biblical era. It's not unexpected at all. The Bible describes it. Of the Philistine city of Gath were unearthed this summer at the ongoing Tel Es-Safi Gath archaeological project, and almost every week now, the archaeologists are uncovering something new. Just recently, they uncovered the path to the Temple Mount in Israel, and it's a pretty amazing thing, and it further consolidates and confirms that Israel has been there, and that the history of Israel is true in the region. Digging and excavations at the site of what is believed to be an ancient biblical city of Gath has been ongoing for years now, it says. The new layer is shedding light on Gath actually being the home of Goliath and his fellow giant brothers. Results are still being analyzed, it says. As he talked with them, behold, there came up a champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistine, and spake according to the same words, and David heard him. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. So this isn't someone with a debilitating disease, a chemical imbalance. This is someone strong and powerful and big that all the men of Israel fled from, interestingly, and they were afraid of him. So they were afraid of him for a reason. It says, of course, if you're a Bible believer, you already know that Gath was the home of the giant Goliath, who was slayed by the shepherd boy David, who would grow up to be the best king Israel ever had. Your dusty, old, and archaic King James Bible, with all its these and thous, contains the truth, and 1,000 more just like it, that science is still struggling to catch up with. It says, yes, sir, that dime store KJV is more up-to-date than tomorrow's headlines. It's a very accurate depiction of what the Bible is. It's more accurate than the newspapers, and more accurate than everything the archaeologists know. In fact, it is telling history before the archaeologists can get there to confirm it. What they're looking for is something to disprove it. They're looking to disprove the biblical stories as written down as historical fact. They're looking to disprove the Bible, but in fact, the more they dig up, the more it proves the historical record of the Bible, and it's fascinating. It's incredible stuff that's coming up, and so the architecture is even larger. It's meant for giants. A lot of it, apparently. I'll let you read the story. I'm going to put it in the description, but it just goes to show you how you can, again, believe your Bible. It is historically accurate. All the things in the Bible, no matter how much you think they're fanciful or untrue or could never have happened, the more this goes to prove that archaeology, day in, day out, proves the biblical stories as actual history and facts. So pretty interesting story. Check it out, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll leave there for today, and we'll see you guys in the next video.